Hello everyone, welcome back to Black Heaven, a necromantic dating sim. Let's go ahead and continue. Liz giggles and starts helping you unbutton your shirt.
A bit cramped in here, isn't it? It's like a blanket for it.
You take off your shirt and toss it aside, then start working on Liz's. Her hands perch on your shoulders, then slide down your arms. When you finish with the buttons, Liz slides her arms out of her shirt and lets it fall behind her. She bends forward and undoes her belt buckle, and you reach under your arms to unbutton her pants. The fire is popping and sparking now, bathing your bare skin in heat. You watch the shadows leap across Liz's face as she pulls out your belt. Liz stands up and wiggles her hips as she pulls down your pants, then sits down cross-legged and tugs you out of yours.
Sometimes I miss skirts. All you have to do is untie one knot and you're good to go.
She giggles to herself and puts both palms on your chest.
You look good in the skirt.
What are you talking about? Liz's hands slide down your chest to your underwear. She deftly undoes the knots and slips one hand inside.
You have long legs and hips to pull it off. Better than some girls.
Well, thanks, I guess. Liz gently pushes you onto your back and crawls between your legs, then lowers her head to kiss your ribs. You can feel her hand in your underwear, massaging you up and down. You exhale hard as her lips move to your left nipple. Your hand rises to your waist, and her skin radiates heat beneath your fingers. While Liz's mouth is pressed against you, you feel her free hand slap your chest. Thumb and forefinger start to tease your other nipple, and you can see her eyes watching your face.
You look like you're in pain. Relax.
You chuckle and lift up your head to get a better look at Liz. You know, you always seem to take the lead in things like this. I was wondering.
You want to be in charge for a while?
Well, I don't know. Liz laughs, slides her hand out of your underwear, and sits back on her knees.
It's okay. I usually take the lead. Now, it's up to you.
Alright. You sit up and sigh, trying to think. You're not very good at keeping your cool around Liz, but you know she has a sensitive side. You remember that night you just held her. How about this? Close your eyes.
Close them? Okay.
Liz shuts her eyes and lets her hands rest on her knees. You move a little closer to her until you can pick out the individual freckles on her skin. Your knees are almost touching now. You reach behind her back and feel for knots in her bra. You untie them with a bit of work, making you think of knotting up Liz's outfit at the ball. The bra comes apart at the back and you slide it off Liz's arms. You sit with it on your lap for a while, looking over Liz's half-naked form. She knows she's beautiful, but she keeps talking about how she wants to get rid of her body. You lean a bit closer, running your eyes across her shoulders, then her collarbones. You remember seeing her body silhouetted against her window for the first time. She must see the little flaws in it more clearly than anyone else.
You still there? Are you gonna take out the rest, or is that staying on?
Don't say anything. Instead, you lean in and kiss her on the neck, then the crown of her shoulder. You start making a line of kisses down her chest, then between her breasts, and then you crane your neck to get to her stomach. When you're done, you bring your face close to hers. You look at her closed lids and the shape of her lips. You can imagine all her different expressions, from conniving to concentrating. Her breath tickles her cheek, and Lisa's brows furrow. Her eyes crack open and find you staring at her. She chuckles nervously and looks from side to side.
Hey, what do you...
You cut her off with a kiss that nearly topples her backward. You hold her face in your hands and press your lips against hers, closing your eyes as you do. Lise holds the kiss for a long time. When you finally break it and open your eyes, she takes a deep breath and sucks in her lips, and smiles. You smile back and lift up her right elbow so you can kiss her arm, then her fingers. Lise looks at you strangely and puts her hand on your thigh.
You okay?
Yeah. What?
You're kissing me like you're not gonna see me again.
Is that not good? Lise rubs her arm and shrugs.
No, but usually... Here, let me just...
After a minute, she climbs off of you and lays down next to your side. She wraps an arm around your chest and nestles her face under your shoulder. When her breathing finally returns to normal, her eyes open. You give her a tired smile, then let it drop. Lisa's expression is serious, almost somber. She bites her lip as if she's thinking about something, then sits up and puts her hands on your shoulders.
What's your fantasy?
What?
Everyone's got a fantasy. What's yours?
You chuckle, confused. That's kind of sudden.
Doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you want, I'll do it for you. I don't care if it's strange or disgusting or embarrassing. Just tell me and I'll try to do it.
You sit up and look into Lisa's eyes. She still has that somber look, like she's worried about something terrible. You shake your head and give her a helpless smile. Lise, this is my fantasy. You lying next to me like this. I don't know what else to say. Lise stares at you for a while. You see her hands fidget a little in her lap.
Really? This is all you want?
Laugh under your breath, shrugging. You keep your eyes locked on hers and reach out to cradle your face. You're all I want. Lise looks back at you and opens her mouth to say something, but no words pass over her lips. Suddenly, she drops her head so her hair covers her face. Hey. Her shoulders hitch and she presses the crown of her head to your chest. You wrap your arms around her, and you feel the first hot tear hit your skin. Oh wait, no, she can't. Yeah, I was right. Lise starts to quietly sob against you as you run your palm up and down her back. Your unfocused eyes look at the fire through the red tresses of Lisa's hair, absently watching the flames rise and fall. Your face is expressionless. All you do is listen. Finally, Lise takes her head away from your chest. She rubs her eyes at the back of her arm and sniffs.
I'm sorry. I didn't think I'd break down like that.
It's okay.
It's embarrassing to cry like this.
Lean forward and kiss her on the cheek. She gives a short chuckle and lifts her hand to touch the spot where you kissed her. Lise tries to finish the sentence, but she shakes her head.
Never mind.
What is it?
I haven't said it before, so it feels weird.
She looks away for a second, then looks back toward you. Then you watch Lisa's face break into a brilliant, beaming smile.
I guess I do love you.
That's your best guess, huh? Alright, I can live with that. Lift up her hand and kiss her knuckles, then lift the other hand and do the same. Lise giggles and takes her hands back.
What about you? I want to hear you say it too.
I love you too.
You mean it?
Yeah. I wouldn't lie to you. Not about this. She slips her arms under yours and pulls you down with her so that you're lying next to her again. She reaches one hand up to stroke your face and kisses your nose. Hey, what did I say about noses? Calling me a kid or a dog? Lise giggles and kisses you on the lips.
Neither. You're mine.
Lise presses herself against you and buries her face in your chest. You stroke her hair and breathe in her smell, savoring it. Your hands wander up and down Lisa's smooth, freckled skin, feeling your curves rising and falling under your fingers. You crane your neck to look down at Lisa's face and see her as she's closed her eyes. Her expression is placid, peaceful. Watch the breath come in and out of her nose and feel her lips brush yours. You look up at the smoke rising through the hole in the roof, still stroking Lise. You soak in her warmth, but as much as you wish you could, you can't enjoy this moment. The next week, you have your first presentation for your research project. You spend 3 nights writing your speech and collecting all your notes so far, but you still need to feel a wave of trepidation as you walk into the empty lecture hall. The panel of faculty members is already there, quietly talking amongst themselves. You take your spot behind the podium, clear your throat, and begin. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. I'm happy to report that my research is progressing well. You start to summarize your work on the model body, the circulatory system, preservation of the flesh, and the blood substitute. After almost 30 minutes, you make it to your conclusion. And so, given time and the Academy's continued support, I'm confident that I can bring this project to fruition and provide seekers of immortality with a new method that will deliver on the promise of everlasting life. The panel gives you a light round of applause, and then the members dismiss you. You gather up your papers and walk outside the lecture hall to sit on one of the benches in the hallway. You stare at the stone blocks on the walls and try to slow your heartbeat. This is the first time you've done this without Rue backing you up. You sigh and look over your speech again, trying to reassure yourself. The door to the lecture hall opens, and you see one of the panel members beckon you inside. You get up and walk back to the podium. It's the opinion of this panel that your work so far is very encouraging. You've made excellent progress, and we're looking forward to the culmination of your efforts. However, there is one troubling matter. You say that your blood substitute is a reconstruction of an ancient concoction that was previously lost. You mentioned that you pieced the ingredients of this concoction together through the Academy's library collection. We'd like to list of the materials you referenced. Of course, I can give you the list. If you don't mind me asking, what's troubling about my work? The faculty member folds his hands on the table and sighs. Recently, there has been a series of break-ins at one of the Academy's buildings. A number of items were damaged, and one of them apparently contained an archaic blood substitute. We're not making any accusations, but our superiors have made it clear that all faculty should be vigilant for any possible information regarding the perpetrators. Once we review your bibliography, we'll let you know if we have any follow-up questions. Thank you. You are dismissed. I'll send it today. Thank you, and have a good day. You walk out of the lecture hall for the second time, this time heading straight to your room. You find the bibliography, put it aside, and then start writing a note. You try to explain that your blood substitute was not just a product of reading. We had helped talk you through how to create it, and part of it was conjecture and experimentation on your part. You fold up a copy of the note and bibliography and put it in an envelope, then bringing it to the faculty building. You hold the letter over the mail slot, unwilling to let it go. In your head, you try to go over it all again, making sure that every base is covered. I can't know. You drop the letter into the mailbox, stare into the inky blackness of the slot for a few seconds, then head back to your dorm. Four days later, you're walking out of the anatomy class with Lise after a grueling 2-hour lecture.
He's loves hearing himself talk, doesn't he?
Of course he does. According to them, he's the smartest, most sophisticated bastard to ever pick up a scalpel.
Want to walk me to the workshop? I had to drop off some tools before I head back to the dorm.
Sure. You walk out of the lecture building and cross the snowy campus, past the remains of the festival. The only traces of it are the drifts of snow piled up where they'd made room for the stalls, and the rectangular footpaths carved across the quad.
Pretty impressive that they just pack all that stuff up and leave, huh?
Yeah. Kind of surprised there isn't more trash left.
Oh, the groundskeepers prepare for this all year, apparently. They're out like vultures, picking up every scrap of trash. Kinda makes you sad, you know? Seeing the empty place where carnival or party used to be makes you wonder if you missed anything.
Like what?
I don't know. Like, you get worried you missed out on something really fun or entertaining or memorable. Like, there are 100 different ways the night had gone, and you'll never know about the 99 other ones.
You grunt and look across campus, taking in the bleak gray skies and black barren trees. Are you saying you have some regrets about how we, spent the evening? Lisa's face screws up in distaste. She slaps her chest playfully and shakes her head, throwing her hair into a whirl.
No, absolutely not. That's not what I'm trying to say. I don't trade that night for anything. It's just, the melancholy that comes over you when you know the party's over. You look forward to a big event for months, then when it's done, you realize you have nothing else to look forward to for a while.
Wow, didn't know the festival ending would bum you out this much.
I'm just waxing poetic. It's nice to say all this to someone, though. I spent a lot of time going from party to party, trying not to let all these thoughts catch up. That's how it goes for a lot of people.
I see. So you gotta keep moving on to the next thing.
Exactly. As soon as there's no more fun or novelty, you just gotta drop it and find something else to fill the hole.
You make it to the workshop building and pull open the door for Lise. She walks inside and stomps her boots against the mat before taking off her scarf. You do the same and unbutton your coat, but don't hang it up. It's still drafty in there, and you don't expect to stay here long. You and Lise walk by the front desk, but the workshop foreman eyes you suspiciously as you walk by. As soon as you're a few dozen feet away, Lise whispers in your ear.
What was that about? Did you break a bunch of glassware? It was glaring at you.
Your face darkens and you feel your good humor evaporate. I guess I didn't mention to you yet, I've been, well, maybe it's better we talk somewhere private.
Sure, let's find a deserted little corner of the workshop.
You head to the back of the workshop, where a small supply closet for saws and knives stands. You open the door so you can pretend to look at the selection with her.
So, is this about our little nighttime activities?
Damn right it is. Can't believe I'll let you talk me into it.
Easy, don't get rattled. What's the situation?
The faculty panel for my research project is investigating a series of break-ins, one of which involved a simple blood substitute going missing.
So, why do they care about you?
Because I'm the guy who just came up with a new blood substitute. 1 + 1 = 2. Lise nods slowly and looks you in the eye, then glances over the cabinet full of gleaming metal tools. Bone saws, shears, cleavers.
You know, if one of gets nailed for this, that person's screwed, right? They'll blacklist you. Itzon has connections everywhere, not just let
me try it again.
They'll blacklist you. Itzon has connections everywhere, not just in academia, but in high society. They'll make sure everyone knows you're a criminal.
Lisa's fingers are wrapped around a long knife, the kind used for hacking through bones. She lifts it off its hook and inspects it.
And that kind of thing ends up spawning rumors. After a while, it doesn't matter what you did, as long as people know they have free range to drag your name through the mud.
Her eyes move away from the knife and back to yours.
So, at this point, it would seem that the smart thing to do would be to squeal, make a deal. Throw the other person in the carriage in order to get off easy.
Lise, you're not gonna betray me, are you? Lise raises her eyebrows and her head tilts toward you a little.
That's what someone would do if they were scared.
You whisper back to her, trying to keep your voice down. Lise, what the hell are you?
I'm just saying that's a bit much. Much smarter move for both of us to keep our cool and keep quiet. The moment one of us starts to suspect the other, even just a little bit, that's when people get hurt. And you don't want that, right?
Right. Lise holds her gaze for a few seconds, and you realize that her pupils are ragged edges, like a tapestry that's been partially unraveled. As you watch, her irises expand rapidly until both her eyes are entirely black. Lise, what's wrong with you? Lisa's eyes seem to glaze over and her grip on the knife loosens. It slips from her fingers and clatters to the floor. She frowns for a second, leans down and picks up the knife, then puts it back in the cabinet.
What was I saying?
We were talking about the, inquest. About the Garden of Flesh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just keep calm and don't say anything. We'll be fine.
Lisa's voice is listless and monotone, like she's talking in her sleep. You reach out tentatively and touch her shoulder. She seems to snap out of her trance and her eyes focus on you.
Hey, is something wrong? You look worried.
No, you just seem like you were somewhere else.
Lost in thought, I guess.
Rapidly, Lisa's expression transforms from troubled to excited.
Want to check out my work so far? I think you'll be impressed.
Yeah. What do you have? Lise closes the closet and walks over to the wall of drawers. She climbs onto a stepladder and slides out her long drawer, which contains a scattered collection of clay pieces. Lise lifts up one piece, a smooth brown mask, already fired in the kiln. She holds it up to her face and looks at you through the eye holes.
What do you think?
You inspect the mask closer and realize it's actually the front piece of a head. There are grooves where it's meant to fit together with a rear piece. The face itself is exquisite. The cheekbones, the jawline, all of it feels perfectly balanced. It has the same quality as looking at a perfect circle. It's so flawed that it's a little uncanny. It's perfect. I don't have anything else to say.
That's what I was hoping to hear. They say something's perfect not when there's nothing to add, but when there's nothing left to take away.
How did you make that? From the... You lower your voice and lean forward so that only Lise can hear you. From the head? Lise lowers the mask and puts it back in the drawer, gingerly placing it between the other ceramic pieces.
Yep, it's based on her. Made a couple of very small changes, but she was the model.
I see. So what's next?
Next is sculpting the face in porcelain. That's a bit beyond me, so I'll have to send the mold off to campus.
Lise smiles at you and runs a thumb over the other clay pieces. Fingers, ribs, and a few vertebrae.
But it's a start. I can start imagining what I'll look like, and in a few short decades, that'll be me.
Exciting. Glance down the clay molds as Lise pushes the drawer back inside the wall. For the first time, you notice the shadow of a hair-thin crack running across the cheek of the face piece. As you look at it, you catch a faint scent of smoke. You feel a wave of dizziness wash over you, and everything goes black. You open your eyes and immediately feel terror rip through your soul. Ooh, that's a new background. Looks quite interesting. Over your stands the grand ruined gate to Itzon Academy, looming over the landscape like a hulking corpse with its soaring black spires and broken stained glass windows. You take a step back. Your mind reels as you try to understand whether this is real or another delusion. You hear the shrieking in the wind and glance back to see the broken edge of the bridge that used to lead to the entrance. Ash swirls and hisses out of the darkened gorge below, and you see no way back across the 40-foot gap. How did I? That's when you look down at your hands. Your hands are bruised and covered in gashes. Your fingernails are gone, replaced by black, scratched over patches at the ends of your fingertips. Ugh. The only thing left of your gloves are the shredded pieces of fabric hanging from your wrists. You look down at your boots, but they're gone too. Your bare feet are standing in drifts of ash outside the gates. You can see the cruel patterns of cuts and wounds covering them as well. You feel your breathing get harder, and you immediately start to cough. You fall to your knees and instinctively grab the filter on your mask. You wrench it off and see that it's completely encrusted with black. You drop in and plunge your hand into your bag to find a new one, all while holding your breath. You feel the ash-laden winds blow across your hands, making the old wounds sting and itch. All the pain in your feet seems to come back at once, and you suppress a moan. Your hand finds the filter and lifts it out, and jams it against your mask. You squint in tightly and take a tentative, shallow gasp. Clear, clean air seeps into your lungs, and soon you're greedily sucking down one breath after another. Your focused eyes look across the gorge, then up at the sky. Black swirling clouds churn above your head, and it's almost as dark as night. My lantern. Where is it? You twist around on your knees and look toward the gate. The giant wooden doors are closed, but have been charred almost all the way through. can see 2-foot-tall chunks missing from the doors, though the metal bands still hold the rest together. Something near the foot of the doors catches your eye. You ease yourself to your feet and slowly walk toward the gate, bringing the dark pile just outside. There are dozens of silver things glinting in the dim light. You crouch down next to the heap and realize it's a half-burned pile of uniforms. Jackets, pants, shirts, and cloaks. Your blood-stained fingers reach in and gently pull one of the silver buttons off a jacket. The jacket crumbles to ashes, and underneath it you spot the charred, curving shape of a ribcage. You stand up and look at the doors, still holding the silver button. I'm back. You pull some old shirts from your satchel and start to rip strips off them. You wrap your feet first, then your hands, tying them so the knots don't get in the way. When you're finished, the pain in your hands and feet fades to a dull throbbing. Uzo? Is that you? Spin around, but there's no one there. Who's that? It's No Eyes. Where the fuck have you been? You look around, but No Eyes is nowhere to be seen. His voice seems muffled, as if wrapped in a scarf or something. Where are you? The book. Open the goddamn book. You furrow your brows, and then you remember. The grimoire. You reach into your satchel and pull it out. You crack it open and find No Eyes' grinning helmet drawn on the pages. Where have you been? I've been trying to contact you for days. You stare down at the drawing of No Eyes and open your mouth to lie, but you honestly don't know. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Where are you right now? You look up at the giant gate soaring over your head. Itzon. You're inside the academy. No, I'm just outside the gates. How did you get across the gorge? I realized they destroyed the bridge. That's what I was trying to. Let's back up for a second. I've been shouting at you for the past 6 days, and you haven't fucking responded once. What happened? I told you, I don't know. I went to sleep and when I woke up I was here. I was outside the gates of the academy. There's a pause on the book. Are you saying you sleepwalked to Itzon for 6 days? I guess. My thoughts were clogged when I woke up, but I don't think I ate anything. Another pause from No Eyes. Were you dreaming? Past several months of memories flash through your head. Evenings spent by the fire, the fight with Tenza, your first date, being named a research fellow. It's all so clear in your head. Every moment of it. I don't remember. Uh-huh. You remember what I said about being mean? About me being a good liar? I can tell when you're fucking lying. So when you say you sleepwalked for 6 days to Itzon, didn't hear me calling you, made it across the canyon without anyone's help, and you don't remember what you were dreaming about? I started to get suspicious. I started thinking maybe I was too trusting when I gave him a grimoire and sent him off. And when you lied to me, I think maybe he's decided to fuck me over and try to escape. Noise's voice gets very low and tense. Am I being unreasonable? No, it's not unreasonable. Okay, so you need to tell me 3 things, and I want you to think very carefully before you answer. First, are you really standing at the gates of Itzon Academy? Second, are you going to stop sleepwalking? And third, are you going to fuck me over? Now, answer me. Yes, I'm actually at the gates. I think I climbed down into the gorge and then climbed back up. My hands and feet, they're all covered in cuts and bruises, and my gloves are gone. Yes, I'm gonna stop sleepwalking as best as I can. I swear I didn't mean to. I couldn't control it. I couldn't snap out of it, but I'll try. And no, I'm not gonna fuck you over. I want to go in there and find them. The ghosts. I'll find them and bring them back. You stare down at the book, but No Eyes doesn't respond. His helmet stares up at you from the page. That's good. That means I don't have to come out there and hunt you like a fucking boar. It also means I can tell what I found. What? Well, I guess I should say who I found. I came across some administrative records here in the Library of Gizzerin, and it looks like a couple of researchers were working on the problem of the plague. Part of the research was conducting interviews. If the documents are accurate, one of the interviewees was the Dean of Itzon Academy. A Dean? Are they in Lazuli? He was, past tense. I made a little expedition to the upper wards of the city and found where they were keeping him. Quarantined in the house with a big garden, all by himself. Turns out the garden was a bad idea. What? Why? Well, I'm currently sitting in this balcony, looking down at what's left of him. He's about 20 feet long, and he's got 6, 7, 8 arms or legs, hard to tell. Turns out your mentor's little play doesn't play with flesh that's already been heavily modified, either with spells or custom-grown flesh. I'm assuming your Dean was pretty kitted out, so he started getting big and ugly and hungry to sustain his growth. Looks like he ate the whole garden, shrubs and all. God. You know, I don't know anyone who's actually seen one of these things dead. I've heard about them, the ones who transformed into Itzon, but I'd never seen one. Made me wonder, since they're essentially mortal and human to fire, cold and all the rest, if there'd still be a bunch of them left inside the campus. Are they alive, I mean? Could they have lived? Luckily for you, I doubt it. They may be able to regenerate wounds and whatever the hell else. But their bodies keep trying to grow, I think. And growing means metabolism. Metabolism means eating and drinking. And at the rate these things grow, either they ran out of food or they start eating each other. After a couple of years of that, I'll bet you my back mowers that they only them survived. Yeah, I guess. Guess that's good. I almost wish I was there with you, just so I could see a living one. Based on the Dean, I'm guessing all of them tried to develop into the same sort of thing. But, fuck that. Don't worry about that. Are you bleeding? Dizzy? Lightheaded? No, I think I'm okay. Alright. Then find a way into that god's forsaken campus and fight those fucking ghosts. And, Uzo? Yeah? Next time I call for you, you'd better fucking answer. Noi's helmet disappears from the page, and you slowly close the grimoire and put it back in your satchel. You sigh and you realize you're shaking. You're painfully hungry, but the only thing left in your bag is some stale crackers. You eat the last of them and drink the remaining mouthfuls of warm water from your canteen. It's not enough, that's all you have. As you rifle through your satchel, your hand brushes against a battered wooden box. My seeker set.
Oh no, I haven't mastered Seeker yet, so if I have to play that again, I think I will die.
You pull it out and rattle it, then flip the little metal latch on the side and open it. You look over the marble board and then at the little pieces painted silver and gold. You run your hand over the squares, thinking about the times you'd played with Rue, Izagi, and Lise. I haven't played with anyone since then. You close the box and slide it back into your bag, then get up and examine the doors to the academy. Each of them is easily 50 feet tall and 2 feet thick, but much of the wood has rotted and burned away. You notice a head-sized hole near the bottom of the left door. You crouch in and pull off a chunk of blackened wood. It comes off easily and crumbles in your hand. After a few minutes, you ripped off enough wood for you to fit your shoulders through. After a few more, you've made a hole big enough for your entire body. You get down on your stomach and push your back through. You crawl through the hole afterwards. Your muscles strain to move your frail body. But after some struggle, you pull yourself through to the other side. You get up and look at the mangled, burnt-out shells of the buildings standing near the gate. Many are sagging to one side or just jagged piles of masonry. Others still stand, but a glance through their broken windows reveals that only the walls are still intact. The black marks of fire are everywhere and thick. Rolling clouds of ash roll across the ground. You start walking, passing by unfamiliar buildings until you start to recognize the main quad ahead of you and the buildings on either side. Through the haze of ash, your eyes spot the two statues that stand just before the bridge to the northern half of campus. They're still partly standing, but they've been broken and blackened with soot. You lower your eyes to the quad itself and see the remains of the pyres. There's a dozen or more of them still piled around, each one standing almost 10 feet tall. You watch the wind carry ash away from their slopes, bearing it away in the wind and taking it up into the sky. This is it, where it all went out of control. You remember your final days in Itzon, or at least the ones you were conscious for. Just before everything went to hell, you'd start seeing the lesions spread across your skin. You remember collapsing in the cafeteria, and you woke up, you were in the infirmary. That was the last time you saw Tenza. You grimace as you remember his arrogant, smug face staring at you. You try to push it out of your head and remember something pleasant. You try to remember the last time you saw Rue or Izagi or Lise. But your mind draws a blank. You try to piece together your last days in Itzon, working backwards to when you last saw one of them. There was the research project hearing. At that last surgical operation in Rue, I saw Izagi in the room when she spilled her tea, and I walked to Lise at the workshop. You tried to remember what happened next, but there's just a deep black hole. You can recognize the edges of it, especially the fact that you're missing a chunk of time. I saw them again, didn't I? Before everything went to hell. The more you probe that black hole in your memory, the more dread seeps into your gut. You shake your head trying to dislodge the feeling. After that missing chunk, remember going to your room and starting the plague. Whoa. The thought immediately makes you want to vomit. You push it back to your mind, and look out across the campus. Looking at the ash swirling around the pyres, you realize that standing here is going to clog your filter fast. This is probably the most ash-laden, infectious part of the entire campus. You peer through the fog of soot and ash and spot a building you recognize. The library. You start jogging toward it, too exhausted to run. I'm inside the library. Oh dear God, it's all screwed up. I'm gonna take a screenshot. You make it up the steps and pull open the doors, then step inside and close them against the wind. You look around at stacks, then walk to a nearby table and ease yourself into one of the wooden chairs. There's so much pitch dark in the library, but a thick layer of dust and ash lies over everything you can see. That actually reassures you. It means nothing has been moving in here for a long time. For a split second, you remember bulging flesh and bloodshot eyes. Uzo. You shiver, clench your fists, and push the thought to your back of your mind. pull a box of matches out of your bag and light one, and start looking for a candle. You find a dusty candelabra. Oops, candelabra. Okay. Candelabra sitting on a nearby table and bring it back to yours. You light all 3 candles, then blow out the match. Stir the flickering light for a long time. Reminds you of a time when you watched another fire burn. Not the pyres, not the buildings, not the bodies. There is a time when you're curled up near a fire with someone else, feeling their warmth soak into your skin. You close your eyes and try to remember. Then you shake your head, open your eyes, and slap your masked face. Can't slip back. Not now. I've come so far. You sigh and look into the darkness of the library. The way I said that all I have to do is to capture ghosts with the grimoire is get them to touch the pages. That doesn't sound too hard. No, I'm gonna have to play a secret with them. Rue, Izagi, and Lise have to be somewhere on campus. Who should I try to find first?
Oh no, I to find their ghost. I guess I'll start with Lise, because we spent the most time with her. Maybe I'll save Izagi for last, because I really like her. Lise?
Lise. The last time I saw her, it was after. You remember seeing her in the hall in the faculty building. She had tears in her eyes. You tried to say something to her, but she just walked away. Why was she crying? You don't know what Lisa would have done in the chaos of the plague, but you bet she had a bunch of people with her. People she could use to gather supplies or keep other people out. You'd always imagined that one of her friends would be the death of her, either from hysteria or trying to save themselves. Lisa was smart, pragmatic, good at manipulating people, but during the plague, every extra person became another unknown. Were they infected? Could they be trusted? You have to guess where her final resting place was. Imagine it would either be her room or the Garden of Flesh. Let's try Lisa's room. No, let's try the Garden of Flesh. Let's see how it looks. If her ghost is going to end up somewhere, probably will be the Garden of Flesh. I guess I can start there. You get up from the table and gather your strength, then head for the exit of the library. You push open the doors and slowly walk down the steps of the library, staying crouched. You raise your hand to shield your face from the blowing ash and look across the quad. The giant ash clouds are still drifting across campus, but you don't see anything moving in them. You also don't hear anything other than the stream of the wind. You breathe in, adjust your mask, and start heading toward the Garden of Flesh. As you walk, one of the rolling banks of dust and ash engulfs you. You can still see the sun shining weakly through the haze, but everything around is obscured and curtained in gray and black. You slow your pace and walk on, keeping your head on the swivel to catch any sound or movement. Minutes pass and your footsteps become more uncertain. Am I veering off the path? I want to get close to the bonfires. You peer down to the ground, but it's also covered in ash and debris that you can't see the paving stones on the path. Then you hear something crying. You freeze in place and crouch down. Your head turns slowly to try and spot the source of the noise. Something emerges from the clouds of ash ahead. A human figure.
Oh dear God, what is that?
and this is where I will stop. But if you guys are enjoying this video, please leave a like, comment what you think so far, and maybe if your opinions changed on which girl you like, maybe let me know. If you want to try out this visual novel for yourself, please check the links down below. And if you want to watch other visual novels, please check my channel down below. Anyways, thank you, and take care.